Hi everyone, I'm Emily and today I'll be making some resin shakers based on those popular Buldak ramen noodles. So I'm going to be using 2-part resin, UV resin, resin colors, and some glitter to put in the shaker as well as some beads. And then I've got my keychain parts and my shaker mold, which is just a shot glass mold cut in half. The 3 designs I'll be making are the original one, the 2 times spicy one, and the carbonara one. So I've got some resin mixed here and I'm going to color it to match the colors of the packaging. So I'm going to start by making the black color, and I've got some white opaque pigment. And for some reason my camera is acting really weird. I don't know what it's doing. It doesn't do that for the rest of the video. But anyway, after I mix in some of the white, I'm going to add some black. I wanted to add enough black to kind of overtake the white. I only added the white to make it opaque, but I don't want it to be gray. Now I'm going to make the red color. I've got some opaque red pigment here. Unfortunately, it's a little bit pink, so I also add some orange and yellow dye to make it more of a fiery red shade. Finally, I'm going to make the pink. And for that, I just use a bunch of the white pigment and then also some of my pink dye. I'm the most excited for this design because at the store I work at, we sell like all sorts of Asian products, and these pink carbonara Buldak noodles are the most popular Buldak noodles we sell by far. Now that all the colors are mixed, I can pour the resin into my molds. I slowly pour in each color, and then after that, I use a heat gun to try to disperse any bubbles that remain in the resin. After a day of curing, I took them out of the molds, and then I also attached some plastic film to the back so I can start adding in the beads and charms. I've got these really cute chili peppers that I'm going to put in the 2 times spicy and the original, and I wish I had like a cheese charm or a whipped cream charm to put in the carbonara one. Now that I've got all of my big beads in, I'm going to add some little glitters to add some more interest and sparkle. Okay, so the shakers are filled with all their beads and glitter, and now I'm going to add some baby oil so all of the pieces can move around in the water. The way I'm doing it now is not the way I would recommend doing it. Usually what I do instead is I poke a very small hole into the top film, and then I attach it and I pour in the oil through there, but this time I was too lazy and I added too much liquid to the red shaker, and so it overflowed and I had to reattach it, and I just recommend doing it the better way that I had talked about before. Somehow I fixed the issue that was happening before, and then I also used some 2-part resin to add a doming effect to both sides of the shaker. And now I'm going to start working on the charms to go on the side of the keychain. So I've got some shrink plastic, a Sharpie, and some colored pencils, and I've also got a template to trace over. If I was more talented, I'd do it freehand, but I wanted it to be perfect. So I've got some sandpaper here, and I'm using 320 grit, and I'm sanding all over the whole surface so that the colored pencil sticks to the shrink plastic. I'm going to start by doing the outline of each character, and I'm using a fine-tipped Sharpie, and I'm drawing the outline on the smooth side of the shrink plastic. Once the outlines are done, I flip over the shrink plastic to the rough side, and then I use my colored pencils to add the color. Okay, so the coloring is done, And as you can see, as I flipped it over, it looks much more smooth. So I really like this finish. Now I'm going to start cutting out the shapes. I'm not very good at cutting out really small details, so I'm going to leave a pretty big outline for my charms. I also need to leave enough space to punch a hole into each one. So remember what I said about leaving enough room for your hole puncher? I did not do that for this one. So I tried my very best to get it right, but there just wasn't enough room, so I'll have to fix that later. Now all of the rest of them are cut out with editing magic, and I'm going to use my heat gun to heat them up. Usually you put shrink plastics in the oven, but since these pieces are so small, I'll just put them in a little container and then heat them up with the heat gun. Now here are all the completed little charms. They're actually smaller than I wanted. I wanted them to be a little bit bigger, but I'm still really happy with the design. And now I'm going to start doming them with some UV resin so that the design stays protected and it looks nice and shiny. Okay, now that the charms are complete, I'm going to connect them onto the shakers. And I think I'm just going to do that part off camera because I'm always out of frame or dropping stuff when I record it, so I'll just save myself the trouble and you can see the finished product in just a couple seconds. And here they all are. I think they're really adorable. I especially love the carbonara one because it's pink. And I love the charms too. Like I said before, I wish they were bigger, and I also wish that I would have made like the title of the flavor too in shrink plastic, like the carbonara, the 2 times spicy. I think that would have made them look more interesting, but overall I still think that they're a nice simple accessory that you could put on your purse or your backpack. And if you like it too, consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye!